Welcome to the Gearbox Podcast with Jimmy Purdy. We're bringing together industry leaders and those in the daily grind. Whether you're a tech looking to level up or a shop owner navigating the business, or just here for some real talk about the automotive world, we're finding the common ground in entrepreneurship and picking up some valuable tips along the way. So buckle up, let's shift into gear. Before we get started, I want to let you know the Gearbox Podcast is powered by the Repair Shops of Tomorrow. It's our exclusive coaching partner. If you're looking to boost profitability, grow your aero, and streamline operations, our SOT has the tools and expertise to get you there. Shift your shop into the future with the Repair Shops of Tomorrow.
Gearhead Radio on AM 1230, KPRL, and 99.3 FM with Jimmy Purdy is brought to you by Shifting Gears in Paso Robles, 1621 North River Road. Shifting Gears has you covered from your weekend cruiser to your daily commuter. And now let's join Jimmy Purdy on The Right Choice, AM 1230, KPRL, 99.3 FM, and KPRL.com.
Good morning and welcome in. Thanks for tuning in on this gorgeous Saturday morning. After the, it's always nice after the little storm rolls through. Makes for some nice sunsets and some nice green mornings, so enjoy that. It's our second false spring, it seems like. It's like all week it was 40 degrees. And the week before that, it was up in the 70s, so strange weather, but we're all used to it around here. Anyway, welcome in. This is Gearhead Radio. Phone lines are open, 805-238-5775. I'm here for the next hour to help you as much as I can to get under the hood or in your car. Or if you want just to call and chat about what's going on in the auto industry. A lot of changes all the time in this industry. The transportation industry is what we call it. And it encompasses a lot. So there's always a lot to talk about. Good morning, you're on Gearhead Radio.
Hi, good morning. I was wondering, on my car, it's got those things that automatically tell you the pressure, if you have low pressure in your tires.
Oh, yeah, yep. The ones that never work.
I know you've talked about it before. Yeah. I was just curious. This is the 2006 H3, the Hummer.
Okay.
I bought a really good tire gauge, and I've checked it, and they're exactly right. All the tires and the spare. And so, but I keep getting this indication on, and I don't know how to clear it.
Well, there's a few things that are the most common ones. Are the battery is going dead. In the actual sensor, right? It's a wireless sensor. Obviously, you can't have a wire because it would just. So
these are 2006, so it's been there for a while.
Yeah. So more than likely, the battery is probably bad. You have to get in there with a scan tool. What kind of vehicle is it?
It's an H3 Hummer.
Oh, I'm sorry, you said that. Yeah. So GM.
Yeah.
Most high-end scan tools will be able to get in there, and you can pull the code out of the TPMS. That's what it is. Tire pressure monitoring system. The TPMS module, and you can actually get in there and see what the code is. A couple different things it could be. Most common is low battery or interference. It could be something as in the receiver module has gone bad. So you got to get the code out of step one. More than likely, the battery's bad.
There's no way to know which tire it is.
No, not without the scan tool. Now, sometimes if it does go low, there is a sequence you can look up online for the GMs. It requires you have to put it in service mode. All the lights flash. And as you air down the tire, you air it down 10 PSI, and then that adjoining light, so one of the parking lights on the four corners, it will actually light up, and then you air that tire up to spec, the horn will honk, that light will flash, and then the next parking light will come on, and you do the tire that's closest to that parking light.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's quite a little bit of a procedure, but you can look up that procedure online if your applies to it. Most GMs are like that. Most of the Chevy trucks are like that. And then that resets all the sensors. So it wants to see the 10 PSI drop, and then you bring it back up, and then that kind of like recalibrates it. So recalibration is another common one. An issue I find with like adding air out of an air compressor is a lot of moisture in it, and that sometimes will corrode that sensor. So sometimes the sensor just needs to be replaced, unfortunately. I see it a lot. Like the nitrogen air is kind of a scam, right, for a long time, but when you think about nitrogen in the tires, when you have that TPMS sensor, it's actually a good thing because you're eliminating the moisture in it. So if the tire's been aired up with, out of a compressor, you're going to get a lot, and it's not dry air. There's a potential to get some corrosion in there. It's 2006, so it's been in there for a long time. Very possible that it just might need to be replaced. But of course, you won't know which one it is unless you get in there and scan it. And you can't use a handheld one. It's got to be a pretty decent, scan tool to get in there and pull that code out of the module.
I've got a handheld one, but it doesn't have anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, you can, if you go to the local parts stores, they have the capability to do like the full module scan, and they should be able to on that one get that code out. At least that would put you in the general direction of what you're looking at having to do. Unfortunately, you got to go to a tire shop, right, to get the sensor out, and then go to a good tire shop because they sometimes when they install the tires when they're in a hurry, they'll bump that sensor, and then you have the same exact code again, and then you're really spinning your wheels when it just came down to an installer fault, right? I had one where it's like I've been to the tire shop 3 different times, and like, well, try a different one. They go to a different one, and then all of a sudden the code goes away. I'm like, yeah, the sensor was bad, but they kept hitting it with the installer arm every time they're mounting a tire. So be aware of that too.
Yeah, to get to them, you have to break the tire down.
Oh yeah, and you got to be careful about it. They sit right there. They attach right to the valve stem, right? So it's all the valve stem is part of the deal. So
okay.
You got to be real careful and ginger as you go around that area where that tire presses down to set that bead. And it doesn't take much to hit the inside of it, and then all of a sudden you got to get another one. And they're not cheap.
What are those things? What do they cost? Yeah.
I've seen them go around $90. I've seen them as high as $250. So yeah, they're quite a range. I think yours, because it's a GM and the age on it, you're probably in the $100 area. So it's not cheap to just go there and replace all 4 of them.
No, it starts getting into some, and then there's the labor of breaking the tire down and putting it back.
Well, then
together.
there's the possibility of it not fixing it after you replace all 4 because the module's bad or something. So you definitely, or at the end of it, it just needed to be recalibrated. So you definitely just don't want to start throwing new ones in there. But it's with the age on it. I mean, I'm more. If you have one battery that's bad, and none of them been replaced before, just go ahead and just get all 4 done, because otherwise you're going to be fighting yourself. Just get all 4. And
that makes more sense.
Yeah, if one battery's dead, they're all going to be, pretty close.
Yeah, in my shop I have a big compressor, but I have two systems of removing moisture.
So that's good.
The air's out of it's pretty dry.
That's good. Yeah, that was one.
I do painting with it, and when you're painting, you don't want any.
Absolutely, yeah. You don't want the fish eyes. Nobody likes fish eyes, right?
No moisture.
I'm not a body guy, but I know what that means. Yeah, at a recent technical seminar I was listening, I never really thought about that, right? The whole nitrogen in the tires, I'm like, what? Just put, it's a tire. Just put, and it's like, well, if you have the TPMS sensors and you get a lot of moisture in there, I'm like, oh, no. I never really thought about that, because we just use compressed air. We don't really think twice about it. I have a small little air dryer, but I don't need to invest in a huge system. We just use it to fill up tires. And so after that, I was like, we got to be a little more careful with these newer vehicles that have these sensors, because we could cause problems. So you learn something new every day.
Because then you don't go just any little compressor at a gas station.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a newer vehicle or in the last 20 years and you have that system, yeah, it's something to definitely think about. Like maybe, and if you have to get by, you got to get air in it, you got to go, but maybe go get that tire, dismounted and cleaned out, and then get some fresh, clean air in it. That way your sensor lasts a little longer.
Everything is too complicated.
That's very true. Very good point.
I'll let you get back to your show.
Hey, I appreciate the call. Have a good weekend.
Oh, thank you.
Bye. Tires. I don't like tires. That's the most frustrating thing. I've always said that tires and dead batteries, you just kind of on. I mean, in this day and age, you should have a little jump pack. The little handheld ones. They're, about the size of a tablet. They're not very big, and they last a really long time once you charge them and throw them in the back. So that way you have a little backup if your battery goes bad. And I guess you can get the little handheld air compressors too. The plug into your cigarette lighter. Probably 2 things you should definitely have if you're out and about a lot, because worst thing is getting out and noticing your tires flat, because there's no easy fix for that. We recently were out the dunes, and I just brought a whole generator and a whole shop air compressor, because we had to air down out at the dunes, and I hate using those little cigarette lighter pumper ones. And you're trying to air up a tire to 80 psi, in a 2500 diesel. It's like I'm not waiting for that. So I just brought a big generator and full size air compressor and air it up in about less than 10 minutes for all 4 trailer tires and my truck tires. So it just frustrates me. I don't like waiting. I'm not a patient person. All right, where was I? Weather. Talking about weather. Let's do a quick weather update. What do we have going on for this week? Before I get into that, there was a opportunity this last week at the Paso Robles High School. I got to go down and talk at the Career Center to some of the kids about skilled trades as a career speaker. It's pretty cool. I didn't get a huge classroom full, but I think it was impactful. I had a good time. Good morning on Gearhead Radio.
Good morning.
Hey.
I was listening to some guy rant about how all the cars have turned feminine and they don't make any noise. They don't seem to have much masculinity anymore. And I was curious. I'm looking at like Camaros and stuff on the streets. Would you tell me what you think a good old... when I was in high school, it was like the 73 Mach 1, the Mustang with the 351 Cleveland. That was the bomb. Is there something like that on the market that you would say is a macho car?
Yeah, if you're a Ford guy, that was one. That was a decent one. I mean, that's a good question. There's a few of them out there. They're kind of hidden between the lines a little bit.
Okay.
I got to jump on a break, but I'll definitely give you...
Break, I'll listen in and you tell me what a good man who's compensating car would be.
I will do. Thanks for the call.
Thank you.
Bye. And on that note, I'm going to be right back after this break. And welcome back. You are tuned into Gearhead Radio on KPRL. Appreciate you being here. Phone lines are open, 805-238-5775. Before the break, call about the manliest vehicle that you can purchase in 2025. I've met a lot of women that can drive a lot better than most guys I know in this generation, this era. So we'll say the highest production value. No, what's a good word for it? Well, we all know what we're getting at here, but where the rubber meets the road. We'll call the segment where the rubber meets the road here. So these are the cars that I think, in my opinion, whether or not you agree, doesn't matter because I'm the one on the mic, that I think are out in 2025 that are still putting the auto industry first. Oh, how's that? That was pretty good. The ones that still are putting what really matters out there, and not to say like buying a Lucid Air or a Tesla or a Prius is not buying. I mean, that's technology just in the different direction. There was an era in 1960 where the vehicles started getting built for the enthusiasm of the youths, right? In 1920, it went from horse and buggy to combustion engines, and these cars were very difficult to drive, required a lot of operator intervention to get it to operate correctly. Not the most comfortable, but they did the job. And the auto market was falling off a little bit, right? And like into the 1930s, it just, you talk about the wartime and all that. There was a lot of car manufacturers that started building cars and quickly went out of business very quickly. A lot of the war effort went into the steel production, and that pivoted a lot. And there was the big three that ended up getting through all that: Chevy, Dodge, right, and Ford, or Daimler, Chrysler, whatever you want to call it. So the big three were able to stick it through. But through that, they all kind of banded together in a sense. Not like the light bulb deal there, but in a sense where we need to start building cars better than the competition. Not in the other way where we'll make filaments in the light bulb last longer so people buy more light bulbs. It was, let's build cars better. And through the 40s and 50s, like, these cars were just awesome, right? If you've ever seen some of these 1940s and 50s cars, especially the cars that weren't mass produced, when these manufacturers came back, it's just like the coolest things you've ever seen. Like, this is awesome. Why did they stop doing this? Well, the high production costs and a lot of other things. And then it slowly evolved into how do we build cars more efficiently to make more money, and that went through. But before that happened, we hit the 60s and the late 60s and the 70s, which is like the golden era for anybody listening to the show right now, because that was the gearhead century where muscle cars were built, and they were built strictly because they put and you can go back to like John DeLorean, where he took the GTO, the Gran Turismo Omologato, right? He took the 4-speed, he put the big motor in it, and they're like, they're never going to buy this. Gas is 28 cents a gallon. What are you doing, man? No one wants this thing. And it just took off like fire. Like, that's what I want in my garage. I want something I can get out there on a Sunday and go take the back roads and just enjoy the car instead of just using it as a mode of transportation. And it's just a really cool spot there. So my long-winded segment there circles back to 2025. Vehicles really are only built to save fuel efficiency, and they're kind of copy-cut paste, right? I mean, every minivan you see side profile looks identical. Every crossover SUV, every sedan, coupe, unless you're in the industry every single day, it's very difficult to tell the difference between these vehicles. You know, whether it's Toyota, Honda, Ford, Dodge, it's like they all look the same. So in this day and age, it's really difficult to find a car that, in quote unquote, is very manly, right? But in my opinion, let's go through a few of the top 10 here. I won't go top 10. Let's do like 5 or 6. I'm not a big Ford guy, but I think the Ford Mustang, the GT350, that's still a pretty rad car that they're putting out. It's got a good look to it. Not a Mustang guy. I'm not a big Ford guy, but I would definitely not. I would definitely own a Ford Mustang, especially the Shelby GT350. That would be the one. It's got a 5.2 flat plane crank, right? It's not the Coyote motor. I can't remember the name of what they call that engine. It's eluding me right now, but it's 526 horsepower, a flat plane crank, 5.2 liter power. I mean, it sounds awesome. It's got a really cool design. It's pretty decently comfortable. I would definitely put that high on the list as far as a muscle car to own in this century. What else we got? The Chevy Camaro. Can't forget about the Chevy Camaro, the SS or the ZL one. Those have an awesome powertrain. 6.2, the LSA, which is supercharged. You get the LT4s, which is the direct injection, supercharged. They run around 600 horsepower. Nothing wrong with a Camaro. Honestly, I think, in my opinion, I think the Mustang, the GT350's got a little bit better styling than the Camaro as far as the exterior. Performance-wise, the Camaro's got it. Definitely the Camaro's got the performance side of it. So, tough one there. Let's go to Dodge. I mean, the Hellcat. You can't forget about the Hellcat. There's nothing wrong. Even the Demon. You get 6.2 liter supercharged, 717 horsepower. Can't go wrong with that. And I think Dodge did a really good job with the styling on the Challenger. I think it's a pretty cool looking car. It's got a good homage to the old school Charger, the 1970s Charger. They definitely recreated that with some sleek body style. I'm a little upset that they put V6s in a lot of them. I think they should have had a completely different body style for the V6. And I think that mainstay Challenger look should have been dedicated only to the V8 power. That way, when you saw it, you knew it was like that was the one-off. But who am I? You know, I don't know. But I think that's another top contender there. Same with the Dodge Charger SRT. It's just another one. The Charger, the Demon, the Hellcat. All solid muscle cars of this century. Another one that kind of slips between the lines a little bit is the Cadillac CT5V Blackwing. Even the CTS-V a few years back, that was a solid powertrain, but the new one, the CT5V, that's another supercharged 6.2. Same engine they're putting in the Camaros. And not in the new Corvettes, but the older Corvettes. Supercharged 6.2 liter V8, 668 horsepower, and it's a Cadillac. It's a cool looking car. I think it's got good styling, and the interiors are really nice. So that's definitely the perfect balance of luxury and performance is the CT5 V Blackwing. I would, out of all of them, that's the one I would probably pick. I like that. I like a Cadillac. Well, I did bring up Corvette, so you can't forget about the Z06 Corvette with the 5.5 liter flat plane crank. I would put those two between the Cadillac and the Corvette if I had a choice and I had $120,000 I didn't know what to do with. Those would be two top contenders. I don't know if... I think the choice would just come down to the day. Just how I felt that day. You know? That's a tough choice. Yeah, do you want the supercharged 6.2 or do you want the flat plane 5.5? Man, naturally aspirated flat plane crank or supercharged 6. I don't know. That's tough. And then you get the Cadillac, luxury with the extra power, or you get the Corvette, which is lighter, better suspension, more performance. Man, that's a tough choice. I don't know. Can't give you an answer. I also don't have $125,000 that I can even think about spending on something like that, but it's fun to think about, isn't it? And if you don't know, I said flat plane crank a few times. It sounds like a Ferrari. Let's put it that way. If you haven't heard these vehicles, they have a very high rev and they sound just wicked cool. It sounds like a Ferrari. So anyway, there's my long-winded rants of the vehicles in this day and age. If you're looking for some power and you want to spend some serious change, there's probably a few out there that slipped under the radar. I mean, I didn't even get into the Euro stuff. The Mercedes, the 550 series, the Porsches, obviously, the GT3s, BMW's got some really nice stuff coming out, turbocharged V8s. I'm just not a big Euro fan. I think we could talk about American muscle here. So that's why I kind of went that way. But I'll have to do a more in-depth list and really get into that because there's a lot. I know in this day we're talking a lot about EVs and all that, but there is still a lot of cool stuff out there. And talking about Cadillac, the one that's popped in my head right now is the Escalade with the LT4 in it. The 6.2-liter supercharged all-wheel drive Cadillac Escalade. Yeah, it runs just under $200,000, but I'd rather buy that than the new EV Grand Wagoneer or the Hummer EV. Yeah, I would definitely take the Escalade with the supercharged in it. So I think they're running like just under 700 horsepower in that Escalade. Yeah. Got to get the kids to soccer practice. It makes sense. I got to take a break. I'll be right back. And welcome back. You're tuned into Gearhead Radio. Thanks for hanging out on this Saturday morning. I'm Jimmy Purdy from Shifting Gears Auto Repair. We are located here in Paso Robles. Here to bring you the latest and greatest for the next half hour. Phone lines are open, 805-238-5775. Just went through a list of the different vehicles in this day and age that we can consider muscle cars. One of the 2025 muscle cars. The Cadillac Escalade, it's 1,000 horsepower. That's what the Cadillac Escalade V. There's a Hennessy version. There's a company that's taking these Escalades and giving them 1,000 horsepower. So if you need a reason to get a soccer wagon van, dad wagon, that's the ultimate dad wagon. Good morning. You're on Gearhead Radio.
Good morning. I heard on the interweb that we're going to maybe have some changes in our California smog laws. I'm real curious as to what we might know about that.
Any changes? I haven't found anything concrete yet. I think I know what you're talking about because they're supposed to roll the from 1976 and they're going to re-rolling it up. I haven't found anything solid on that, but I did hear. I think I did hear the same thing.
It was going to maybe be back to 95 or 94 smog exempt or something.
That's what I heard, and I couldn't find any supporting documentation to back that up yet. But we can hope. Well, we can always be hopeful.
Yeah, maybe somebody listening knows a little bit more about it or something. I heard there's going to be a couple changes, and that maybe just they're talking about changing the laws. They're just talking about it this time, but it'd be interesting to know because they've been hornswoggling us for decades.
Yeah. Who was doing that? I think I heard it like from Jay Leno or something.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, I mean,
He got behind it anyway. He got behind it, and
yeah, I think
it may just be the start of the movement.
Yeah, I think that's what I just heard it in passing, and then I remember looking it up, and I never found anything to kind of show that there was legislation to go behind it. But I mean, it would make sense, right? Like, if you want to recycle vehicles, quit making it so damn hard to keep them on the road. For the most part, people are going to take care of their stuff. You know, it's a very small percentage of people that will just drive around until the wheel falls off, you know. And I think having the government step in and say, oh, well, you need to make sure your vehicle's safe every year. It's like, I get for the small percentage of people that do that, but everyone we see come through the shop, and the one thing that really sticks out in my mind is when everything's approved, all the things that we find, right? Well, hey, these are just like small minor things. You know, we're just letting you know you don't need to like do all this stuff. You know, like, oh no, I'm selling it. I want to make sure there's absolutely no problem with it. It's like, it's just not what you think, right? In your mind, you're like, if someone's getting ready to sell their car, they're just going to run it to the ground and then hawk it to the next guy. But I would say 90% of the people, at least in this community, when they bring their vehicle in, if they're approving all repairs, minor or major, and all maintenance items, it's always because they're getting ready to sell it, and it just blows me away every time. So I think we as people do a pretty good job of taking care of each other, you know. So it's like, we don't need, if these cars, they don't pass smog, most people just throw them to the dump, right? I'm going to get rid of it. I can't get it to pass smog. Right. I don't know what else I'm going to do. I'm not going to keep spending money when it runs fine and it just doesn't pass smog. And it's like, well, just make it exempt. So at least it keeps one more car on the. How much does it cost to go recycle that whole vehicle and then produce a whole new one to put back on the road? Doesn't make any sense to me.
Right, I agree. If we could just get rid of the insurance lobbyists that are responsible for the 5-mile-an-hour bumper up to the airbags and everything else, tire sensors.
Yep.
They're the ones creating all these laws, the insurance lobbyists, right?
Yeah, it's getting a little crazy when you got to like fix the sidewalk around your property because someone could trip and fall and hurt themselves. It's like, well, I think that's natural selection.
Right, there you go.
Come on, man.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll try to keep abreast of that. I think you're right, bringing up Jay Leno. It's kind of a movement, and he's getting behind it. So, yeah, maybe in the very early stages.
As soon as I know anything, I'll definitely be talking about it. So,
right on. Okay, well, thanks so much.
Thanks for the call. Thanks. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Yeah, that would be interesting, to say the least. Having vehicles smog exempt up to 1995. It'd be interesting. I'd want to know how you could incentivize that. You know, obviously they make a lot of money, and I think repair shops make a lot of money, right, getting to pass smog. You know, in California, I talked to other shop owners across the nation, and I mean, the check engine light is not something in most other states in the country that is a big revenue generator for auto shops. And it's like in California, it's like if that engine light's on, it's like it's the money light, right? If it's on, it needs to be fixed because you're gonna need to pass smog this year or next. So might as well get it fixed now. In other states, they have a check engine light on, and it's like that's the least of their worries. Well, not the least of the worries, but you get what I'm saying. Good morning, you're on Gearhead Radio.
Hey, good morning. I've got 3 quick questions for you.
Shoot.
The first is I wanted to know what your thoughts were on the 2004 Lincoln Town Car.
That's a solid vehicle. I got nothing against that. The Mercury Grand Marquis, same thing. I mean, yeah, they have a good powertrain. I think they're pretty reliable. The airbags would be the only thing I would probably convert in the back. That was probably the only major issue that I saw a lot of in their, in quote unquote heydays, right? But yeah, if you need just a reliable commuter, that's a good car.
Okay, good, because we're kind of looking at one right now. So
yeah, low maintenance costs. Yeah, there's not a lot to go wrong that I really saw. Anything 150 to 200,000 miles. I mean, yeah, that's it's basically a little truck. It's got the same engine and transmissions as as an F-150. So, and it's in a light car, so it definitely goes down the highway really well.
Okay, cool, great, thank you. Also, I was told that there's California might be making it so that diesel pushers need to be smogged quarterly.
Yes. So that's the. I just had a mind blank. Yeah, it's the new program. The name's going to come to me in like 5 minutes, and they just rolled it out. So this year is the first year that it's mandated. They rolled it out last year, and they gave a majority of the population 6 months to get it figured out. In 2025, it's now mandated twice a year. You have to go in, and it's a plug-in style check, and it's an opacity check of the tailpipe to see the smoke. And then they want to, or they're lobbying for quarterly. So they want quarterly. So it's everything that's a 4,500 GVW or bigger. So it's all the trucks that were typically exempt, all the way up to Freightliners and semis and everything in between. So that includes the big diesel pusher buses, motorhomes, and everything in between. So yeah, they want them going to a station twice a year, for that test. Yeah. And
that is unreal.
Yeah. Then eventually they want them quarterly. So yeah, there's a lot of the hot shot truck drivers, right? The ones that do the trailer runs across the country, that are based in California. A lot of them are moving out, right, and like setting up shop in Nevada and all that, because they have fleets of 4 or 5 trucks, and now they're needing to take them in to get emissions, and they're suspending registration. Last year there was a huge because the paperwork wasn't quite through, so they were getting letters in the mail. It's like, my registration's like suspended. Why? And then they had to go jump through all these hoops. Meanwhile, they're trying to do interstate travel, and they weren't allowing them back into California without the smog. It was like a complete nightmare, just a total mess. And so this year now they're sending out letters and making sure they're giving everyone the 2 months or the 60 days to come into compliance is what they're calling it. But yeah, that is, what is the name of it? If you look up on the bar.cea.gov or the California Air Resource Board.org, there's all the information on there about it. When my brain comes back, I'll announce it again what it was, so you can look up all the different rules for it. But I went and got my license for it last year because I just wasn't sure what was going to happen, if there was going to be a big need for it. I haven't invested in the tools because I honestly want to stay away from it. But if I can help, I just got my license for it just so I knew about it. But a lot of the fleet companies are just hiring in-house technicians just to do it themselves, so that they don't have to deal with it. But obviously, if you have a diesel motorhome pusher, there is no exemption for that yet for recreational use. So maybe in a year they'll do a recreational waiver. I don't know how that's going to work, but that was something that I read about.
That's really incredible that California would be literally opening the door and pushing people out. It's unreal.
Yeah, it is.
Unreal.
Yeah, yep.
The other states are probably going, come on over, give us money, and you can register it here.
Yeah, I think they're getting sick of all the Californians everywhere. Is the vibe I get when I go to other states.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but all we can do is see how it plays out and vote, right?
Oh yeah, you got that right. I think people are coming to their senses. Hopefully.
Yep.
Still got the diehard silly people, but whatever. Anyway, the third question was, if you were to buy a vehicle, what would be the year, make, and model of the most reliable vehicle according to your experience?
Oh man, what a question! What a question!
Like to haul a couple kids, and I know it's a huge question.
Oh, it's a good question. What has been the most reliable vehicle that I have seen? What vehicle do I not see a lot of at the shop, I guess?
Yeah, that's it. What do you not work on?
Yeah, the way I look at it is what's the cheapest to fix, and all the Chevys have always been cheap for me to fix. So it's always a hard question to ask a mechanic or a technician, right? Because it's like, I don't maintain it super well, but I know like eventually it's going to break, and I know what's going to break. So like the Chevy trucks have always done really well for me because I can fix them easily. I would say most of the Honda cars that are standard would be somewhere I would start, like the right around the 2000s. You get up into like 2005, 2006. I think the Toyotas, they did really well with the minivans, the RAV4s, that 2006 to like 2010 era right there. Those Toyotas, I don't think you can really beat a lot of those small SUVs if that's kind of what you're looking for.
Right.
Yeah, the Toyota Siennas, I mean, those things were troopers. I didn't have a lot of problems out of them, major ones. Same with the Lexus, the RX 300s in that range.
Okay.
I see them in the shop, but they don't have a huge amount of problems, and the maintenance costs weren't super high either. To give you a really good answer, I'd have to probably dig through some statistics and see what the cost of ownership is right as you're going through them. Because you obviously don't want to get something that needs a lot of high-end parts all the time or a special filter. You know, you want something with an engine like the VVT 2.4 was like one of the hot ones for Toyotas that was like up into that 2008 area. So I would say if you're looking for something reliable, just as a commuter, good gas mileage, definitely go Toyota or Honda. I would be partial to like the Toyota RAV4s or like those smaller SUVs, not the big Sequoias, but the smaller ones.
Right, gotcha. Hey, thanks for your comments, and I appreciate your show.
It's the HDIM program. I got it. I knew it'd come to me.
Okay.
Thanks for the call.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. And welcome back. You are tuned in to Gearhead Radio. And I am Jimmy Purdy from Shifting Gears Auto Repair. We are located here in Paso Robles, 1621 North River Road in Paso Robles. ShiftingGears805.com. You can check us out online. Make your appointment there. Give us a call. 805-238-6202 is the number for the shop. You can reach us all week, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. But every Saturday, you can find myself here to help you answer your questions as well as I can. Now, keep in mind, these are all just opinions, so do what you will with that. The Toyota RAV4, maybe I'm partial to that because that was Leanne's car through high school, 98 RAV4. I remember she would, I think like almost 300,000 miles on it. Just call me out of the blue. It's broken down again. And it wasn't broken down. It was just the timing belt failed because it's got 100,000 miles on it. It's like, I told you we needed to replace this thing like 20,000 miles ago. Throw a new timing belt on, and away it went. All the way to Arizona and back a few times. Yeah, it's not a terrible little car for what it was. But also, we were talking about the HDIM. That's what it was. So the HDIM is the clean truck check. That's what it is for the heavy duty truck. So if you look that up on the California Air Resource Board, look up clean truck heavy duty or HDIM I/M. That is the program, and you go through and read all the stuff about it. And if you have anything that's 4,500 or bigger or 14,000 GVWR. Hey, sorry to cut in, but I got to let you know about our exclusive coaching partner of the Gearbox Podcast, Repair Shops of Tomorrow. If you're ready to take your shop to the next level with proven strategies for profitability, ARO growth, and operational efficiency, visit repairshopsoftomorrow.com and start shifting your business into high gear. Or larger vehicle, it is now subject to this testing, which is twice a year, and they do want to eventually roll that into a quarterly check. So, there you go. All right. Well, let's get back to weather. I don't think I got through the weather just yet. And I wanted to bring it up because I just want to let you know Wednesday we got some thunderstorms rolling in. So be prepared for that. Looks like Wednesday the storm's rolling in. Wednesday, Thursday we got some scattered thunderstorms. So we still got some rain in the forecast. Don't let the false spring fool you because we got some more rain coming in. Also, I have a little bit of sad news to leave you on. I don't mean to leave you on a bad note, but I do want to bring up the legacy of Gene Winfield. He passed away this week. I believe it was on the 4th, on Tuesday. And so he was here living in Paso. If you went to some of the benefits like they had at the Daniels Woodland car show for Mr. Gene Winfield, awesome time we had there. Really, really just blessed with the opportunity to spend the time with him. I was actually pretty lucky to have him at the gender reveal we had for Mallory. He was there, and I got to do the burnout in front of him. So nothing like burning out in front of a legend, right? Yeah. So that's I think he's 98, or he was going to be 98 this year. So some unfortunate news, but legends never die; they live on forever. So if you didn't know Gene Winfield, I definitely would encourage you to check him out online and see the legacy that he built. And we kind of started the show talking about muscle cars and talking about how the auto industry has evolved and how we, entice. And I think he was one of the pinnacles of taking, customization to the next level and really kind of started that evolution, if nothing else. Being able to customize and chopping cars, chopping the roofs down and doing his thing to them and really starting that whole evolution, back in that era, 50s and 60s, and making cars cool, making them unique and making them your own. So, yeah, he's got a lot of cool homages online, a lot of interesting facts about his life and the times and all that kind of stuff. I think he started out in a chicken coop. Right, his very first shop, Wendy's Custom Shops, was his mom's chicken coop back in like the 1950s or the late 1940s. Just came a long ways, to say the least. I mean, the guy's been on every single hot rod show that you can think of, between Chip Foose and Richard Rollins and all the big names that you watch on TV. He's been there. He's been an influence to those people, so pretty cool. I definitely wanted to give him a shout out here. And yeah, moment of silence for Mr. Gene Winfield. All right. Well, that's all I got for today. I had a few more other interesting facts. I had one about Chevy trucks. We're talking about the evolution of vehicles. I got just a few minutes, so I could probably get through this one here. So the Chevy Silverados, or the Chevy trucks, when we talk about the evolution of the automotive industry, one thing I want you to check out when you're driving around, and you might be driving around now or you're getting ready to leave the house, check out every Chevy truck on the road. Okay? And you know what those look like. They're the best looking ones. At least the older ones anyway. From 1967 to 72 was the second gen. Then you get, or I guess technically the third gen. Then you get to what they call the square bodies. Right? Those were at the end of the 80s, 1973 and forward. That was where their styling really came into play. They called them the square bodies. I like the older ones, but that's okay. The most popular ones were those ones. Now, the biggest change they made was the square or rectangular wheel wells. They're the only trucks on the road that have a rectangular or square wheel well around their tires. Everybody else is round. Everybody. Toyota, Honda, Ford, Dodge. Everybody's got a round for the wheel. You got to ask yourself, well, why did they choose the square? And why has it been that way until now? Even up to 2019, 2020 trucks. All the Silverados. I think the end of 2019 was the first round wheel well that the Chevy went to. So these trucks, for the last, I don't know how many years that is, from 1973 to 2018, 2019, all use square wheel wells. Pretty interesting. And part of the reason was, well, actually not part of the reason, the main reason was aerodynamics. They actually, in 1970, was the first time they put these trucks in a wind tunnel, and they found that having square versus round wheel wells was actually more aerodynamic. And they ran it that way for so long. I think now in 2019, there's so many changes they've made, right? They're not big bricks anymore. These trucks have smoothed out a little bit, so I think they can go back, for styling purposes. I think they went back to round, and it's a negligible amount of wind resistance now, so they've just, okay, we can ex-nay the square, but it definitely changes the look of the truck, and it's something I really never noticed Obviously, you see it, but the Chevy trucks are the only ones that run the square fender wells. So when you're running around town today, it's something that you can remember me by. And remember to tune in next Saturday at 9 a.m. for Gearhead Radio. I appreciate you hanging out today. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Keep in mind, we have our time change tomorrow. We're springing ahead. So we get a little extra daylight, but it means you got to get up a little earlier. Because if you spring ahead, that means you're waking up technically earlier than before. Does that screw anybody else up trying to think about that? Like which way to... So remember, tomorrow is the time change. Remember that. Also, we got some events coming up, and I'll be sure to announce those next Saturday. Car shows are open. Golden State Classics is open for registration. We got a couple months left, so we can wait for that. But thanks for your time. I look forward to seeing you next Saturday. Have a great week. See ya.
Gearhead Radio with Jimmy Purdy is brought to you by Shifting Gears and Paso Robles on River Road. You can trust Jimmy and his team to take care of you and your vehicle the first time, every time. You're listening to The Right Choice, AM 1230, KPRL 99.3 FM. Paso Robles, Tascadero, and Templeton.
All right, Gearboxers, you know I keep things running smooth, engines and beards alike. That's why I trust the Bearded Brotherhood for top quality, all-natural beard care. From their best-selling Woodsman to my favorite, Thieves, they keep me looking sharp and smelling fresh. Check this out. Get 15% off every order with the code GEARBOX15 at thebeardedbrotherhood.co/Gearbox15. Your beard will thank you.